I recently completed IBM's Enterprise Design Thinking Practitioner course. And I want to share with you what I think about this and how design thinking can be useful for you in your own organisation. Hi, I'm Peter Heydon. I help businesses, enterprises, all shapes and sizes, adopt and embrace data analytics and AI type solutions. And today I want to take you through a bit about design thinking, what it is, and why I think it's important. I'll give you my reflections on a recent training course I went through and how it might be relevant for you. Now, we all know that AI is a very complex area. There's a lot going on in the modern world today, and a lot of focus is around the technology and tools of how we can deploy AI in our businesses. But it's not just about turning on technology for technology's sake. It's really important to understand how to use AI in a meaningful way. Now, I want to share with you a bit about design thinking as a technique that you can be used to help build AI solutions in your organization, and also how to get started with this if you're not familiar with the topic. But first, I'll give you a bit of background on where I came from and how I've been using design thinking. So I was in university in the late 90s. The course I was undertaking was part of the traditional IT at the time, and we had a real focus on pioneering interaction design, which is how people used systems. And the user-centered design was a core concept of that course. And it was in this time that design thinking was emerging. I didn't have that as a language at the time. None of those frameworks we have today existed, but certainly it was an emerging concept. Now, this has grown a lot, certainly in the last 20, 30 years, and is even before that. And if you want a good history, the Wikipedia article around design thinking will give you a good taste of the background from it and how the focus is on, using design techniques to solve, more complex problems. Now, today I see design thinking as a way to help us use design creatively to focus on problems that users are facing. And the key thing here is what the users are experiencing, not to turn on a piece of technology because someone thinks it's a good idea. It's actually grounding this in something really practical that will have good outcomes in the back of that. Now, for myself, I certainly, it wasn't till probably the last 15 years I've really started picking up design thinking. So about 10 years I never really thought about it, what were those sort of concepts. But I came into the consulting sort of world in my early stages. I was really looking for ways to help clients solve problems, right? And I've used design thinking concepts around collaboration technologies, around analytics technologies, and recently around AI challenges as well. And I've done that through my own self-education and then facilitating the trial and error, but following advice I found online. So the likes of Stanford's D.school is a great place that you can go to learn a bit about how design is used to focus learning and outcome solving problems. And this is where I found a lot of good information that really got me started. And some of the frameworks in here is again, a catalyst for a lot of ways you can apply design thinking in your own organization. The other organization that you can look at and what they've been publishing is IDEO. And IDEO really are the pioneers of the design thinking movement. We were looking at case studies of IDEO, 25 years ago that they were doing, and you can sort of see some of the case studies on their website. So check it out around how they can use design to solve a myriad of problems, not just technology problems, all sorts of problems in the world. So I think that's worthwhile. Now, recently, I attended a training session with one of the vendors we work with, and we're invited to an envisioning day, which was really design thinking. And I was really keen to attend, and I'm glad I did. Because what for me it did is it took a lot of things I worked out and pieced together myself over the last 15 years and showed me how it can be used in practice with someone who's more experienced in practicing this. Now, I asked the facilitator, I said, well, where could I go to learn about that? I asked him about some of the, things like IDEO and d.school. And one of the other ones that the facilitator recommended was to check out IBM's Enterprise Design Thinking. So I did that, and like these other d.school and IDEO, IBM have their own framework. Now, for all intents and purposes, this really closely aligns with what I already knew, what comes out of these other organisations. But what I can see is as I've gone through this, is that it's really been applied for an enterprise environment. I'm not saying the others can't be used for that, but IBM's taken their own spin on it, and they've built this framework through their experiences in solving problems, complex problems for their customers, into their own framework and IP. Now, I'm not enough of an expert to evaluate the framework, and I'm not going to do that in today's video. But if you haven't had any exposure to design thinking, then I think starting here is a good way to expose yourself to IBM's framework that you can use and get you accustomed to what design thinking is. But what I want to do is connect that then to around how to learn about design thinking. That's where IBM, through the Enterprise Design Thinking site, I'll put the link below, has a number of online courses that you can take. And the first one is the Practitioner course, which I've just completed in the last few days. Now, I think this is a really great place to start. It's online, takes about 2 hours, videos, there's some exercises to do, and it's free. There's no cost to do this. I think it might have been charged in the past, but at the time of recording, it certainly is free for anyone to sign up and take this practitioner course. And what I like about it, having done it, is a great introduction to design thinking and how it can be applied with some simple examples and as exercises I touched on. So for me at Granda, a lot of stuff I've already pieced together. And if you're new to design thinking, or you're going to be involved in design thinking type activities as a participant or a co-facilitator, this is an excellent primer to get you across some of the real basics about design thinking and how it can be used. Likewise, if you've been wondering around whether it could be useful, I think this is investing 2 hours in this is good to inform your thinking about as a technique to help you then, the focus on applying AI to solve problems, but it also has more universal appeal as well for other sorts of problems and challenges you may encounter in your organization. But certainly it is a good way to at least think about how could we go about solving problems or understanding the problem even, more so before we go and solving them. And again, putting users at the center as part of that design process. Now, this course isn't going to make you an expert facilitator. I think there are additional courses for that. Now, some of those require you to be an IBM client or pay for training, but the practitioner course certainly is a good way to get started. And you do get access to the framework and the detail in here, and you also get access to the toolkit. So some of the things that don't get covered off are some activities you would need to run. So let's say an empathy map. There's detail here around, you can download the activity, there's step-by-step guides. So the toolkit and the framework outside the practitioner course are good ways to help you get started. And I think this is design thinking is with the right mindset can be really useful even without a lot of other formal training. That said, though, there are other courses that you can take. The other one two others I'll touch on is a co-creator. So once you've done the practitioner course, you can take this one. I'll be queuing that up. I'll queue that for my learning to do soon. And this appears to go through more details, and I'll provide a review on that. But I've actually just gone over to the applying design thinking to AI with their team essentials, and I've started that piece as well, because this is going to really ground how we use design thinking to use AI together. So I'm really excited about trying that. Overall, if you're curious about design thinking, the Practitioner course is a low-cost investment to get some grounding on the subject. If you're looking to also get maybe a team on board, or have a need to do regular problem solving, then getting them and doing a Practitioner course could be good to level set on design thinking for you. So look, I think that's hopefully give you a bit of idea around what design thinking is, how I've found it useful, and how you can also then start the journey yourself with that. And be sure to check out certainly the Enterprise Design Thinking Practitioner course to get you started. If this was useful to you, please hit that like button. Add any comments if you've got any questions. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be sharing more about some of the things that I'm learning to help me with my customers that can help you in your own organization as well. And I'll see you in the next video.